Look, I am coming up on my 10th year as a licensed therapist and men's marriage coach. And in that time, I have saved hundreds of men's marriages from the brink of divorce without them having to convince their wife, walk on eggshells, or use tactics learned in books or therapy that are only guaranteed to push her further away. After witnessing thousands of examples of men lose and win their wife back, I'd pretty much be an idiot if I didn't notice patterns and certain behaviors that make those men succeed or fail. And I can tell you pretty much for a fact that this is the most surefire route to save the marriage. If you truly take him and apply, keyword apply, what I'm about to tell you. Now look, times have changed. And so has the rule of what makes a marriage work and a wife happy. But what has never changed is female psychology and attraction tactics. And what specific behaviors in you make a woman loyal, committed, and even addicted to you. So in today's video, I'm going to give you the 5 proven steps you must do in an exact order to have the best opportunity to save the marriage, to win her back. Now, these steps have been found after interviewing hundreds of men that have turned their marriages around from the brink of divorce. And a lot of them did it in a matter of weeks. Let's jump in. The first concept or tactic you are going to apply to win her back is known as Wu Wei. It's the art of sailing versus rowing. Let me explain. When she first dropped the D word on you, or said, I love you, but I'm no longer in love with you, we're done, said she wanted to move out, you found out there was another guy, it's all pretty much the same thing. The relationship is reaching its demise. For most men, it came out of nowhere. Yeah, sure, right? The marriage and the relationship hasn't been where it's been. You guys are busy, there's kids, you haven't been the happiest, but to end it, it was a gut punch straight to you. It was this blood eagle where you're just tortured and just thrown back, your reality crashed down, especially when she said that she hasn't been happy for all those years. Really? Why is she like this? There was moments of happiness. You remember, you're not making it up. So why is she like this? And how are you screwing it up? Or how do most men screw it up when she first pulls away? Look, I understand as a problem solver in your life, if you have a goal, if you have a task, you'll find a way. You will make it work. The men I work with, they are very successful men, all right? The thing is, when it comes to attraction, it is paradoxical. This process is paradoxical. Let me explain what I mean. Women are inherently indirect in communication, right? Not direct. The masculine is the polar opposite of the feminine, okay? Direct, indirect, feminine, masculine, and also attraction and force, right? Going after and chasing is the exact opposite energy of attraction. So everything you are logically doing to force, to try to chase her and get her, is having the opposite effect. You see how that works? I know when you're racking your brain for all the reasons why she said it is over. Or maybe she didn't say them, so now you have to think about those past conversations or just kind of read between the lines. You're like, well, she's complained about that I didn't really know how to listen to her, so I'm gonna go buy this book on listening or try to get her to see a therapist with me, then we can listen together. Or what about that time she said that I don't come home early enough, so I'm gonna start coming home. I'm gonna follow her around because she said that she loves me, she wants me. Here's what's happening in those moments. Whatever action you do in this current perspective, it'll always work against you. And there's a specific reason why, based on female psychology. This happens for men and women, but more so for women. They operate in the world, take behaviors and thoughts and their whole narrative and their story and the way they see things is based on their emotions. A lot more so than men. We can have an initial emotion and then maybe not react to it as much as a woman would. But she is more intuitive. She lives by her emotions because that's just the feminine archetype. So what happens here is that when that switch occurred, her heart shut off temporarily. You'll open it up again, but her heart shut off and she started viewing you as from the hero to the villain. And everything you do, she interprets through this lens of the villain. So no matter what you do logically, it'll never be good enough at first, okay? Key word is at first. Let me just really hammer this point home to you, okay? Let's say there's a woman in this office, right? She's brand new. She's gorgeous, feminine, intelligent, and there are these 2 men in the office that like her. The first man, man A, he is, let's say, 6'4", he works out, dark hair, he's very attractive, charismatic, maybe has a YouTube channel that helps men save their marriages. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up here. And then man B, let's say he's 10 years younger than her and he's a foot shorter than her, and he's overweight, and he just doesn't take care of himself. He's very introverted. He has low sense of self-worth, and he's kind of just weird, right? He just doesn't understand social nuance. He's the guy where he keeps on talking to you, and you could literally just like roll your eyes in conversation. He wouldn't even notice it. He just lacks social cues, right? So you have these two guys, okay, and he also smells. I'm just trying to make the worst possible scenario, that dichotomy between the two, all right? Then one day, the woman, she gets a note on her front door. She opens it up and it says, "Hey, I noticed you in the office. I just wanted to say, here's my number, and I think you're gorgeous. One day I followed you home, and I couldn't help it. I just wanted to leave this note here for you. I really like you." Something like that, right? Now, she looks at that note, and at first it's in this superposition of like, I don't know, what does this mean? Who is this from? If she were to find out it's from person B, "He followed me home, what a creep, oh my gosh," right? If it was person A, it's like, "Oh, that's cute, I like him." Same behavior, different men. I'm not saying you transform from the perfect A guy to B guy. It's not that much of a difference, but it is a vast difference, right? You went from the hero to the villain. And the only difference is the way she sees you, right? This emotional switch happened. So anything you try to do at first will only push her further away. So you must stop doing these needy behaviors. Stop trying to use logic to win her back, okay? There must be a period of space first, okay? There is action in inaction, right? The concept of Wu Wei means the art of sailing versus rowing. By trying to row, you're trying to force to get her back, and attraction is the opposite of that. You must sail. You must sail. Okay, what this means is taking space and doing the opposite of what your heart is telling you. I know everything inside you says, like, I know this woman. She shouldn't want to end this. There's been so many moments of us like creating our dreams together, and all these things, all the story that you have, to her emotions are completely writing a different story. And it is all subjective. And so you must take that step away at first and stop doing those needy behaviors, okay? Stop blowing up her phone. Stop following her around the house. Stop finding random excuses to send her short videos or like my videos or songs. You need to stop. I know it's hard, but it is the vital first step. Step 2 is YDKWYDK. I didn't know how to say this differently, but you don't know what you don't know, right? The reasons you pushed her away aren't the real reasons, okay? And the thing is that if you were on this journey and you're trying to find this end goal, this treasure of winning her heart back, and the map you have is just taking you in the opposite direction, it's no wonder you're going to be kicking yourself, running into more obstacles, lost, helpless, confused. Now, we talked about in the previous point that women are very illogical. And the thing is that the reasons she will give you are not the real reasons she is leaving you. What happens is that there are specific things you have done that she is not aware of. She's not aware of this process. Most women are not aware of this process, of what really are the reasons why she was pushed away by you. And if you're searching for these reasons, you're going to come up with whatever she says. And she's just going to have this feeling and just try to find reasons to justify it, but it's not the real reasons. Let me give you a prime example. One of the one-on-one clients I was working with, very successful, loved the guy to death, lawyer, and he was married to a second wife, and they were together for about 7 years, and she was very avoidant, would never open up about anything, just emotionally closed off. And they were going through this process of separation, and finally they were able to meet up, and he's like, why? Like, I really don't know why you left me. Like, can you please tell me why? He was searching for that answer. And she said it was because one time when they were driving, he wouldn't let her pick the music. Is that the real reason? No, it's not. Let me give an example. I talk about this metaphor of branches and root causes, right? All these branches are the reasons that you will see on the surface, right? You don't see the real reasons. They're unconscious to her. They're hidden, right? But these branches are the things like, oh, it's the money. It's the kids. It's because of sex. It's because you don't know how to communicate with me. Now, let me tell you a really good framework of the truth of the core reasons. And then from there, you can solve those core reasons in the following step. There is behavior, needs, and character, okay? Now, 99% of men, you will focus on the behaviors. This is the logic. Let's take an example of taking out the trash or any other chore. She comes to you and says, you know what? I'm breaking up with you because you never did the chores. I'll start taking out the trash every single day. I'll do the dishes, I'll do this. That's the behaviors, right? There are layers underneath the real reason of why she's doing this. So let's go to needs, okay? Now, when it comes to the chores, it's not so much about the chores. It's the fact that you don't know how to listen to her, right? And she has a need of feeling validated and respected. And by you not doing these things, her needs are being compromised of respect and validation. You see? It is not so much the thing as it is what it symbolizes to her. This is why the little things matter for women. I remember hearing a story. I was watching this YouTube video on this divorce lawyer, and he was saying that he asked the woman, well, what was the breaking point of the marriage? And she said, well, he used to buy me my favorite cracker when every time I ran out when he went to the store. One time he didn't do that, and I was like, well, I'm done with him. It's not about the cracker. It's that him getting the crackers for her every time they ran out symbolized he cared. You see here? That is behavior versus needs. And then character is what it says about you as a man, right? She's writing a narrative about who you are. And when you stop taking out the trash, or when you don't fill up the crackers, or when you don't pay attention to her when she talks, it's not a simple answer of just looking at her, start giving her attention in that moment. No. It speaks to your character as a man and who you've been compromising yourself as. And I think you know this deep down. So when it comes to financial issues, right? You're like, okay, fine, I'll find ways to make more money. I'll save money. I'll do this. Maybe you can get a job. I can work extra hours. That's the behavior. Her needs, maybe you can pause and guess, her needs not being met are security, right? Now money, increased money could make her feel more secure, but there are other things you can do as well. In that moment, you can give her security by making her feel reassured instead of defending and saying, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this. It's like reassure her that you got this as a man, right? And to your character, if you're not able to take care of her financially, she's concerned about your character to protect her and to provide. And the favorite one is, when she says you can't listen. It's like, I'm listening right now. I'm listening right now. What are you talking about? I can hear all the words you're saying. Okay. I think you could apply that whole needs and character level to that one or any of your behaviors. And this is honestly a step that you could do. You could pause the video. With my clients when they first come in, I do this exercise where they'll take the past 5 to 10 to 50 things their wife complained about, and they'll go down to these deeper layers, and they'll connect the deeper layers to character traits in themselves, and that's what you focus on changing, right? Because you can cut off 1,000,000 branches off that tree. It'll grow back. You have to address the root issue in yourself. Okay, now this is where therapy will oftentimes fall short, right? Think of it like a house, right? You're rebuilding this house it resembles the relationship, okay, in the marriage, and a lot of who you are. A lot of you is in this house. You're the stability of the house, okay? Oftentimes, a therapist, they'll try to say, you got to have the right pillars and the right roof and the right walls and all this stuff, and that's important. It's, part of the house. But the therapist, I learned this personally because I was never taught this. I had to learn this through thousands of hours of consultation and understanding female psychology and so many things that you have no idea about. There's this foundation that needs to be fixed first, okay? And there are core needs based on an evolutionary psychology basis that a man needs to display in order for his wife to feel safe and to respect him, to look up to him. And if she doesn't respect you and she doesn't feel safe with you, she'll never love you, right? There's a reason why she can love her kids, right? A mother can love her children, but does she look up to her children? No. That's what differentiates between a mother and son loving relationship and with you. There are certain needs that you can only meet for her that her kids never will or never should. Otherwise, it's known as emotional incest. You should read The Truth by Neil Strauss to learn about that one. Now, I have loads of videos on how to be a high-value man. There's one right there. Just high-value behaviors. Look at any needy video I have to learn these behaviors. But I'm just going to give you the top 3 through the CLL acronym. C stands for calm. Now, consistently what I've found that makes a wife not feel emotionally safe is that whenever she had these arguments with you or she was criticizing you, you became defensive. You reacted. You either yelled back at her, you defended yourself, you didn't take responsibility, or you cowered away. You retreated. You worked more. You buried yourself in addictions like alcohol. You weren't there for her. You reacted. When you react, you are in the feminine state. And when you're feminine, she loses attraction for you and respect. Just that one behavior in itself, when she speaks to you, you don't react. You take responsibility. You respond to her emotions. All these skills we teach in the program and also on this channel that you should be learning. That is the first vital step into reestablish these core needs of emotional safety as the base and respect and attraction for you. If those things are lacking, she'll never give you a chance. That's why in therapy, they'll focus on the emotional connection piece. And it's like, a woman doesn't want to even emotionally connect with a guy if she doesn't freaking respect him. So I'm getting heated. It's just like, traumatic PTSD and all these sessions when I was like trying to get the freaking wife to like listen to the guy, but she was like rolling her eyes and she didn't even respect him because he didn't know how to like hold space for her and he didn't know how to respond to her emotions, and he had insecure body posture and all these things. I'm just like, oh, looking back at myself, I'm kicking myself. But hey, we learn from our failures, right? You get to learn from it. So the first L is loving. Now, this is in regards to how to pass your tests. Again, there's a whole video on the channel about how to pass tests. However, not reacting is the first step, right? That's not messing it up. You need to know what to actively do when she's having these criticisms, she's attacking you, she's feeling insecure, right? How to pass her tests efficiently, how to love her the right way. And this isn't about love languages either, about like, oh, I'm gonna give her words of affirmation when I usually buy her a gift. No, okay? No, loving her the correct way is knowing how to give her love from the masculine polar state, okay? If you don't know what your biggest gift for her is, and it's not the money, it's not the house, it's not the vacations, it's nothing you physically provide, it's nothing tangibly in this world you provide her, it's something you do. If you don't know what that is, you're lost. You need to watch more videos on this channel because I say it in a lot of videos. I'll tell you at the very end if you really want to know it in this video that bad. The last L is leadership. Let's face it, a lot of men, they were on their purpose when they first met their wife. You were on your purpose. You had a lot more things going on for you, didn't you? You were, whether you were more in shape, you were just driven, you had this drive in you, that masculine energy that is so attractive, that ambition, right? She didn't come first. You become passive, you become weak, you become lazy. I'm just calling you out, right? Calling you out man to man. It's true. I become lazy and complacent at times. We all have. It's human nature to relax when we achieve something, but your wife is not something that you can achieve. She's a daily working process with you. It's much like your body. You can't just attain the perfect body and not do anything about it. It is a constant battle with her. And you know what? Warriors love battle. They incite it. They go into it. You are a relationship warrior now, and you must have that ability. Samurai, they would just revel in the competition, right? And they would love it when the battles would come. And if you can fall in love with her criticisms and her tests, the rest comes easy. Calm, loving leadership, okay? As a micro example here, to be more practical with you, because it's like, damn, give me some practical advice. On a macro level, where are you leading the relationship? Do you know where you want to take the other joint marriage goals for the relationship? Or are you just coasting? Marriage goals, you two goals, not the kids, not your career, other marriage goals. Are you guys growing together? On a micro level, what this leadership looks like is choosing the dang food, right? picking the movie, going out to date, leading her, right? When you go walk somewhere, you grab her by the hand and say, let's go. Hey, be here at this time. Are you leading, right? I shouldn't have to tell you all these different ways. I think you know how to lead, right? You are a leader in other domains of your life. Leader in the relationship. It's that simple. After you've done all this for a few weeks, now it's time to have the inciting conversation. Now, my personal program, they're called CLC reports. At this point, the emotional safety is there. The respect is there. So the love part comes easy. If you do want help knowing how to guide this conversation or how to identify the correct issues and you want coaching, you can set up a call down below with our team, okay? But when it comes to this inciting conversation, you need to open your heart, say your needs to her, say what you're committed to doing, and recognize that when you first tell her these things, she's going to test you, right? She wants to believe you, but she's going to try to knock you off your pedestal to see if you stand. Oh yeah, do you love me, is what she says. Do you really love me? This is all a facade. Let's find out. She's going to poke at you. Okay, you must learn how to pass those tests. I'll give you a little bit more value here with step number 4. A lot of men will ask me, Josh, do I directly tell her I'm going to have this conversation with her, or do I just do it, right? And you're actually going to do it indirectly versus directly. Because, a lot of the wives, you'll see this, when they start to come back to the husbands, they don't say like, hey, I want to have a date with you. Or, hey, like, I want to work on us. It's very indirect, right? So what they'll do is very common trope. They'll find some excuse to hang out with the kids together, or the husband will come over to fix something, or they'll go to some event, or whatever the case may be, but it's never under the guise of like, let's fix us. Because from the woman's perspective, that's coming on too strong. That's the masculine, right? She wants to do it indirectly. Like, oh, it just happened. We just fell back in love. He came over, helped me with the kids, and we just had a look with each other. And I don't know, just what came over me, right? That's what has to happen. So you can create that yourself. Find a reason to do something with her that's fun, that she loves. Lead. During that conversation, her state's going to change, her emotional state, because she's having fun with you. She feels safe with you again. And then, boom, you address a deeper level of the conversation. Okay. The fifth principle, I couldn't decide if I wanted to call it honing humility or seeking surrender, but it's the same thing. I'm going to let two recent testimonial guys who saved their marriage in a matter of weeks explain it.
The biggest part of my change that she sees and loves is humility. I had built up walls, man. I was a Marine officer and an aviator, and I was 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And there wasn't nothing I couldn't fix, manage, control.
I think it's perfect because when I changed and she saw the consistency in me, she went back to being her old self and was just starting being affectionate and loving and communicative and, wants to be with me more.
I would say there's two things that really only hold guys back that hold you back, potentially, if you are this guy, from saving your marriage. It's losing hope, confidence, you have doubt, right? There's doubt. Doubt's natural. It's just, do you let that voice win? Or the voice of pride? Right? If you think of the spectrum too, it's like you have like self-esteem, right? Measure from high to low. It's like the guy way up here is like prideful. He's like, it's her fault, screw this, I'm done, I'm out, whatever. Like, victim mentality. And this one down here is also kind of a victim mentality too. But this one's like, I'm better than her, which is insecurity. But this one's like, I can't do it, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. Okay? The guy here, he surrenders. He says, you know what? I have been, you could say, an asshole, a pussy, whatever the case may be. I haven't shown up. I've been given up. I've retreated. I haven't stepped up as a man, however you want to label that, but you haven't been your apex self, your best self, have you? It's okay. You're human. Josh forgives you. I do. I really do. I forgive you, and you should forgive yourself. But you need to surrender to this process. You don't see this right now. Very few men do. Very few men do. But if you were able to see that right now, in all this pain, in your hell on earth, this is an opportunity, the biggest opportunity for you to transform yourself and come out the other side. And I know you want this to be over. I know it sucks. I wish I could press a button and end that suffering for you. I can help you get through it. It's kind of easier when you go through something like this with other people who've been through the same thing, which is why I want to offer you help. But, give it up to God, right? That's why I like that phrase. All right, man. You watched at the very end of the video. Much love to you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. You got this. You can win her back. Salud. Cheers. Have a great day.